Hey everyone, this is Lindsay from Just the Worsted, and today I'm going to show you how to work this lovely ribbing. You can use this on the sleeve cuff, on the bottom ribbing, or even on the collar of your sweater. So pretend this is a sleeve or a cuff or like a ribbing. So these days I like to turn the work inside out, so that the wrong side is facing us. Wrong side, right? Okay, now, this may seem counterintuitive, but I have done so many combinations and this looks better, especially if you're using a slip stitch. So take your yarn. I'm going to use these fun colors so it's easy for you to see. Make a slip knot on your hook. Wrong side is facing us, right? You should join your yarn to the right side on the inside. Okay. Usually my patterns say to work a single crochet foundation row all the way around, but because I just double crocheted around, we don't need that. But if you have a bunch of side rows from your shoulders, you need to make it clean and have stitches that you can work into. Okay, so here we are. We've started. You can chain as many chains as you want. If you're working a collar, it might be shorter. If you're working a bottom ribbing of your sweater, it might be longer. You can also use almost any stitch you want. Right now, I'm just going to do a single crochet, but the sleeve from earlier that I showed you, this is a slip stitch ribbing, but it's all done in the same exact way. You just work in the back loop, and I will show you. Okay, so I will just chain, let's chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whenever you're chaining, you always have to chain one more, right? Because you work into the second chain from the loop. Let me just get my second chain from the hook. Okay, so turn your work and work into the back bumps. And place one single crochet, oh dear, into the second chain from the hook. And then you will just continue to place whatever stitch you decided to use into each chain. Now make sure you're counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, yikes, 4, 5. Great. Okay, I am using single crochets, right? This is a common stitch that people like to use for this, but you can use anything. Okay, now you are going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Slip stitches do not count as a stitch in this stitch count, okay? Done. Now we have connected it. When you turn this way, turn your work. Now you see the 2 slip stitches here. 1, 2, you skip them. And you're going to place a single crochet in the back loop only. This is your front loop, this is your back loop. Single crochet, back loop only, all the way down. My yarn's a little funky. All the way down. Great. Now, like I said before, if you're using a double slip stitch, it would be double slip stitch, back loop only. If it was a slip stitch, it would be slip stitch, back loop only. And I say this all the time in my patterns. On the last stitch, I like to work through both loops because then there won't be a weird hole. Okay, fantastic. Now you chain and turn. Okay, see how it's looking really nice and clean if we join from here? And you can see it gets a little like funky and messy on this side, so that's why I'm so specific about joining on the right side when it's turned inside out. Okay, now let's do this one more time. Place a single crochet back loop only in all of our stitches. We chained 6, so we have 5 stitches. It's really important to count so you don't miss a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of our stitches are there. Fantastic. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. My stitch count's a little funky because I joined here, but I'll slip stitch into it. Okay. It's looking pretty clean and nice. Now turn. And again, these are my first 2 slip stitches. Skip it, but make sure, if you're just working a single crochet, make sure that this part is tight so it doesn't get so you don't get any gaps there. Okay? Place a single crochet, back loop only, all the way down. Great. Okay, and then you just keep doing this. Slip stitch 2, or work all the way down, slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, turn, skip the first 2 slip stitches and work up. And you keep doing that over and over until you reach the last few stitches. Then you'll slip stitch into those 2, and hopefully you'll be on the wrong side. So if you are, you just put your ribbing together like this, and you just slip stitch all the way up to fasten it off, or you can sew it however you want. Now if you are slip stitching, doing slip stitch back loop only, sometimes it can get really tight. So I used a 4mm hook for this, right? If I were doing a slip stitch back loop only, I would get a 5mm hook for the cuff, ribbing, everything, because slip stitch really squeezes your work in and it can turn out way too tight. So yeah, anyways, this looks like a pumpkin. I hope you enjoy and can make your own ribbing on a sweater now. Bye!